going on, Shark Faithful? So, this is going to be a big season for the Sharks. Obviously, with the start of this new season, Doug Wilson made some moves this offseason to really say, we want to win now. And why is because he signed a guy like Antti Niemi. He thinks that the duo tandem of Antti Niemi and Antero Niittymaki can carry this team and maybe make a run, or possibly win the Stanley Cup, according to him. He believed that getting a no-name goalie, kind of like how Michael Leighton was carrying the Philadelphia Flyers, or how Jaroslav Halak was carrying the Montreal Habs, he thought the no-name tandem of Antero Niittymaki would carry this team because he doesn't have any playoff experience, and the fact that he could step it up late and get hot. Somehow Antti Niemi was also available, and now we have the N and N combo of Niemi and Niittymaki, who are both Finnish guys. This pretty much throws Thomas Greiss under the bus. You know, I'm not a big fan of that, but it is what it is. I can't do anything about that. I think he would have been a fine backup. But now that Niemi and Niittymaki are together, it'll be interesting if they split time or if they rotate this stuff, because we don't know who the true number one goalie is. At least I don't feel we do. So it'll be interesting. Not going to be a great regular season from the goalie perspective, but I think we'll be just fine, at least to make the playoffs. So going with the first line, you got Joe Thornton, who is now the captain of this team. Obviously, we know Patrick Marleau took that captain name off a season ago. Now it's Joe Thornton being the captain. Of course, Danny Heatley and Patrick Marleau are on the sides. We all know what they can do, and they pretty much did very well during the regular season. Joe Thornton and Patrick Marleau played well, actually, against Detroit. Marleau carried the team against the Blackhawks, even though they lost. Marleau actually played very well. Danny Heatley, though, he's going to need to step it up eventually when the postseason rolls around, because he was very quiet throughout the regular season. Out on the second line, you got Ryan Clough, you got Joe Pavelski, and you got Devin Setoguchi. I'm happy that Pavelski and Setoguchi were re-signed. You know, Pavelski, I think, is the biggest fan favorite now for coming through big in the playoffs. He pretty much showed he can come through. Devin Setoguchi was re-signed to a one-year deal, and Ryan Clough is, I think, in the middle of a 4-year contract as of right now. This line will perfectly be fine as of right now. I'm not worried about up front. So, second line, this should be perfectly good. For the third line, you got guys like Scotty Nickel down low. This guy wins the face-offs. The only thing we're missing is, of course, Manny Malhotra. As we all know, he left for the Vancouver Canucks due to free agency. Kind of a light blow to the team, but not huge. Torrey Mitchell's going to need to step it up. I think he had speed. That's about all he had was speed, and that's it. I didn't see much from Torrey Mitchell to really be sold on him as of right now. Also on the bottom six, of course, you have Logan Couture, who he did okay for a rookie, but we haven't seen a whole lot from him. He'll probably be on the third line. He might be splitting time, but he'll be in the bottom six for sure. I'm not exactly sold on this bottom six like last year's was with when Ortmeyer and Staubitz were there. I know Staubitz is gone, and so is Ortmeyer. But it should also be okay because of Scotty Nickel down low. No problems on the bottom six. For the blue line, I'm expecting Dan Boyle to be perfectly fine with Doug Murray. Those two are always good up on the front line. No issues there. But the defensive pairings on the second line and third line, the third defensive pairings, I'm not exactly sold on Marc-Edouard Vlasic or Nicholas Pauline or Kent Huskins or Jason Demers. This is a very shaky bottom or second and third pairings because they got exposed by the Blackhawks. You know, there was that one goal by Dave Bolland that really just sped through. Everyone looks like third liners when they saw Bolland score one of those goals on us. I'm not exactly sold on Pauline and Marc-Edouard Vlasic. Vlasic, though, needs to step it up. Pauline is considered a veteran. He's done stuff in the past, but he was not worth the $2.5 million, I don't think. I don't believe he was worth it, so they're going to need to step it up. Jason Demers, though, I like what I've seen from Jason Demers. I really think he'll develop into a very good player. No worries there, but I think we need to trade for a defenseman because as of right now, I'm not sold on this current blue line behind Murray and Boyle. So what do we do instead? We should trade Ryan Clough. And I know some people are going to yell at me for this, but I think Ryan Clough, it's not that he sucks, but I think he's expendable. Why? I think Jamie McGinn, he should be moved up to the second line, and I think we trade Ryan Clough for a quality shutdown defenseman. I know some of you have heard me talk about it multiple times, but Ryan Clough didn't do it in the playoffs. He only scored like one goal last postseason, and that was the first one against the Avalanche. So I think Jamie McGinn, he'll be an up-and-coming forward. Trade Ryan Clough for a defenseman, and I think that will solve our problems. Doug Wilson did address that we need a defenseman by trying to sign Nicholas Hjalmarsson to a offer sheet, but the Blackhawks matched it, and he remained in Chicago. So Doug Wilson, though, I think is trying to come up with a plan to try to find and upgrade the blue line. Because as of right now, I'm still not sold on the guys in the back, and we really need to upgrade that blue line if we want to really be contenders. In the regular season, we should be fine at least to make the playoffs. I don't expect a whole lot of winning like last year or the year before that, where we win the President's Cup trophy. Honestly, I don't want to win the President's Cup trophy because that's just a show off, and we know what's happened the last 2 years of President's Trophy winner. We know what happened to them in the playoffs and going one and done. So I'd rather just see some winning, but do it to just make the playoffs. Don't be the 7 or 8 seed, but you don't have to be the number 1 seed in the West to be moving and making a run during the postseason. So the goaltending will probably be not as strong because the Evgeny Nabokov, we chose to not sign him, which is what is a good thing, of course, because we found out Nabokov can't do it in the playoffs. So best wishes to Evgeny Nabokov in the KHL. Luckily, we don't have to see him on the opposing side in the NHL because he went over to Russia. So other than that, though, I'll say this. Let's go Sharks, and really, let's make some noise this coming season. We'll see y'all later.